Hi, it's Rachel, also known as J. Lorraine, Open My Ministries. So I've been really busy. The Hurricane Helene hit my home pretty bad. I haven't said anything about it because I do what my father tells me to do. I do my father's bidding. I'm about my father's business. So I'm not doing anything to get any kind of, I don't care. If one person is helped, it matters to the Father, so it matters to me. But yeah, I got blisters all over my hands. So I'm having to I went today to do some more. I had to wait because there was like trees everywhere. So I was raised on a farm. I know how to farm. I know how to work really hard. I have since I was about 6 years old. So there's a lot of things I don't talk about, and there's reasons why, as far as family matters go. But I will want to document this. So I'm cleaning up over there at my home, and during the time let me reiterate, backtrack a little bit. Sorry about that. I had to wait a few months. The reason I was going into knowing about agriculture, the trees were too heavy, but if I were to give them the winter time and then let them be heated by the sun, they would dry out and become lighter, and I could move them. And so um, I stayed there, and then my mom called wanting me to come over here with her, we've always had an estranged relationship, as well as my older sisters. I left or was kicked out at 14 years old, and I made my own way. And a lot of things have happened in my life since the passing of my stepfather. They say it's it's been a good hard 10 years. Okay, um, almost 10 years. Actually, it's been a hard life, but God is our strength, right? So, anyways, back to the story. I finally, I waited it out. I had a lot of break-ins, vehicle destruction, stuff like that. I've already addressed being assaulted, but so I clean here. Like, people have no regard when they come in of the dirt they bring in here, and when I come here, I clean for her, and it's always like pounds of dirt, and I'm mopping and sweeping 3 to 4 times a day just to try to get the residual up. And so I'm getting to the point. So she tells me this morning, I've been staying with her because of the water issue. I don't know if on this channel, I've had several channels stolen, that the Farm Bureau president bought the adjacent property. I've been living in the same home since 98. I was a teenager when I bought my home, and I've seen a lot of people come and go. But he refuses to work out a water bill, so I've been toting like hundreds of gallons of water a day in water bottles, gallon water bottles, filling them up, loading them up, unloading them, and using them and repeating daily. Okay, since roughly around April 1st, or maybe the end of March, around the turn of April of 2023. And but I've always had issues with my family, and I've never spoken the in-depth, unbelievable, just things that have transpired in my life and what I've witnessed and what made me want to be different. And so I cut off from that, like I said, at 14 years old, and God's been with me. That's why I'm telling you, I don't care where you're at. I have seen God do things, it would blow your mind. and I'm quite sure others have, but I'm talking about some really, really dangerous, unbelievably challenging situations. Just that's the kindest way I can put it. So I go, working this whole week early in the morning and working till about 5:30, coming back to her home to bathe. And because I don't have the water and I really don't have time with the chopping down of everything and moving trees from undercarriage that's grown over it, and just a lot of work, a lot of work that you would have to witness to believe. And she tells me this morning that Joe, which is the man that works for her, she's Patricia, but anyways, had to come clean out the vent or something. And I'm like, well, y'all don't even like sweep the floor. So, and of course, the guest room that I'm sleeping in for a few nights while I'm trying to get all this done at my home. Um, because she did ask me here, but I really am using it for my convenience. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. I'm taking the opportunity. I've met a lot of goals in the last couple of weeks, and now I'm tackling this hurricane. I want you to know my house was not built on sinking sand. And a great evergreen fell on my home, and it didn't even penetrate my roof. And four fell in my yard. Probably hundreds of tree debris in my yard. Yeah. So, and not only that, but it's overgrown because people stole my lawnmowers and stuff like that. Weed eaters, tear up my vehicles. Yeah, come up. I live in the woods, so they just feel like I guess they can do whatever they want to do. But leading back to her telling me about this man that's worked with my dad that passed away in December 2016, and then I was diagnosed. I was healthy, and all of a sudden I became really ill. But she tells me he's got to clean out the vents. So I'm over there at the house, and I'm like looking at the blisters that are quarter size all over my hands, right? And I've got scratches and stuff, and I'm really tired. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm in good shape. I do have a heart condition that I have to Graves' disease and stuff like that. That I'm but I try to be as healthy as I can. But this is, I have the Lord. Maybe that's why I love him so much. I talked about on one of my other channels about how, like, we seek God out of our own selfish need for him. And it grows into a love affair with him and intimacy, especially if he's all you got. So I don't like emotion. I generally will laugh when it's the time to cry because I had to learn how to deal with things, and I'm still working through those things. But so I come in, and they never do like they're pretty. Um, they all, let's see, the four older sisters and the mom, they correlate together in secretive. I am never been in the loop about anything that's going on. I'm excluded, actually treated, pretty harshly. Um, they've been kind of, it's not like so much the unwanted dog. It's kind of like someone you can tolerate for the first time in my life since I've been over here for a couple of weeks. And that raises my suspicion of something is going on here because, usually, I mean, I'm not even spoken to, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not now, but it's just like a little bit of difference. And so I come in my room, like I'm over there and I'm looking at my hands and I'm like, I can't do this today. Like, I'm having cramps. Just I've got a lot of blisters and I've got other things to do. So I come in and there's a rectangular Tupperware or some kind of flexware dish on my floor, like almost under my, or not my, but the room I'm in, her dresser. And I'm like, that, they do. Yeah, I'm gonna post this. You daggum right I am, because I'm tired and I'm grown. The puppy grew up. Okay. So, they don't, that was not a mistake. They make no, in their opinion, and from what I've seen, they're pretty correlated and they're pretty on top of their game. And so they intentionally left that. And what rose my suspicion is I passed a police truck coming out, and I usually don't ever see them in this area over here where she lives. So I just wanted to post this because I don't know what they had in that Tupperware and why they intentionally left it in the room that, I have all my stuff in the car, but my bedding is on that bed and there's a couple of things hanging in the closet, not much, just enough to get by for a couple of days. But yeah, that wasn't a mistake. And yeah, I'm posting this. So if anybody is out there willing to pray for me, I'd appreciate it because I need prayer right now. And know that if you are a child of God and you're a brother or sister of mine that do diligently loves the Lord Jesus Christ, I pray for you and your children every day. So have a good day.